Is your golf swing inconsistent? Whenever I have a group of golfers together and they're talking about their swing problems, you always hear about the slice, the hook, thin shots, heavy shots, over the top, and even the dreaded shank. But when I ask them to go a little deeper, it always comes down to one problem: inconsistency. Doesn't matter whether you're playing good one day, if the next day you're not playing well and you don't know why, that's probably the biggest frustration golfers ever feel on the golf course. The other questions they have are, is it the mind? Is it the golf swing? But the big one is, how do I fix it? And you're not alone when you feel this frustration. Even the best golfers in the world have to deal with inconsistencies in their swing from day to day. I'm Tracy Reed. I'm a golf biomechanic, a former military interrogator, and an expert on how the brain works under high-pressure situations. I spent 20 years researching to find the answers to the very questions we just asked, and I found them. And what I found was so simple that most golfers don't want to believe it. But I'm going to show you the answers for a better, more consistent golf swing right here, and I'll prove it to you. And I'll do it without asking you to learn a new golf swing. As a matter of fact, I'll go so far as to say your golf swing is probably just fine. And with this, you may never have to worry about your golf swing ever again. So let's get started. Now, you may be a little confused that I said that I don't want to work on your golf swing. But the fact of the matter is that majority of the golfers that I work with, when they come to me, I don't work on their golf swing. But when they leave, they have a better golf swing, they've got a better golf game, and they have the power to fix their swing whenever they need to, even right on the golf course if they need to. Now, like I said, I rarely ever work on golf swing mechanics. So what is it that I work on? I work on one element of basic body movement that is critical to anything the body does when it moves, but it's been skimmed over for probably centuries when it comes to the golf swing. What is this element? I'd rather show you than tell you. So let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever been walking along and suddenly tripped? What happened? You probably threw your arms out, or maybe did some kind of a gyration in order to regain your balance and stop from falling down. How did that happen? Did you think about it? The answer is no, you didn't think about it. It happens automatically in the brain. This same process that catches you when you fall down can be killing your golf swing. As a matter of fact, for most golfers that I teach, that's what I find is going on. What is it? It's automatic balance. It's the dynamic balance system in your body. Actually, it's in your brain. What it does is it protects you if you start falling. It's automatic, and it happens whether you like it or not. So how does this affect the golf swing? Well, it's very simple. If you don't start your golf swing from a balanced position, your brain automatically tries to rebalance you whether you like it or not. Well, if you're not in balance, it's going to steal the muscles that you intend to use to hit the golf ball. And it's going to use those to rebalance you, which throws off your golf swing. It throws off your plane. And if you throw off your plane in your golf swing, you don't have a chance of hitting the ball square, let alone on target. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you how this works in the brain and how to take advantage of this so that you can use it to help your golf swing rather than hurt it. Because here's the secret. If you start from a balanced position, your brain and your body will fight to keep you in balance and bring that club back to square every time. All right, so what I'm talking about is using your body's dynamic balance system, the auto balance system in your body, to make your golf swing almost automatic. But to do so, you have to understand how that system works. So let me go through it. First of all, balance starts at the bottom of your feet. You have proprioceptors, which is a big word for nerve endings, at the bottoms of your feet and elsewhere in the body. And they communicate with the brain 24/7. And their only purpose is to know if you're in balance or if you're out of balance. And if you're out of balance, the brain automatically makes whatever corrections it has to keep you from falling down. So when you're walking along, you don't realize it, But your brain, if your foot lands wrong, is making tiny little corrections to try to keep you from falling down. You trip on something that has to make a massive correction, and that's when your arms go way out. Well, here's the thing. You can tap into this system and use it for your golf swing, and it becomes pretty interesting when you do so. I'd like you to try a quick experiment. I'd like you to take a walk, and as you walk, I want you to focus on exactly where in the bottoms of your feet your weight is mostly centered as you walk. When you land on your heel, is it on the outside of the heel? Is it on the inside of the heel? Or is it centered on the heel? And as you walk across your foot, is it going to the outside? Does it just move right over to the ball of the foot? Or is it pretty much centered? And again, when you push off, how is that weight centered? Is it on the ball of the foot? Is it over the last set of toes? Or is it centered again? And I want you to do this while walking, looking straight ahead, not looking at your feet. Now what's going to happen here is you're going to find out that both feet are different. One's going to do one thing, one's going to do another. And it's going to be a little awkward at first because you're tapping into the subconscious with your conscious brain. But what we're doing here is I'm showing you that you can see exactly what the subconscious sees as you walk. Okay, when you do this walking exercise, there's a point here. You're probably, after a while, going to see in your mind some kind of image of the bottoms of your feet. That's your subconscious setting those images to the feet because you're trying to find out what's going on. Now there's a part 2 to this exercise, and I want to tell you that if you don't do this exercise, you're missing out on a very important part, because if you don't experience it, it won't make sense. So here's part 2. I want you to take a walk again. This time, I want you to correct your walk. I want you to start in the center of your heel. And then when you come across, I want you to go to the ball of the foot. When you push off that foot, I want you to push off in the center of the middle part of your foot. Both feet. It's going to feel a little awkward, and here's the point. Don't look at your feet while you're doing it. The only way this is possible for you to correct this movement is for you to consciously go into the subconscious pictures that are already there, because you saw them in the first part. Tweak those pictures a little bit, and your body will move heaven and earth to follow the new picture. But there's a reason for it. The pictures are close enough to the pictures the subconscious is already using, so it says, hey, yeah, that's the same picture. It's a little better, so I'll use it. This is very important. But what I want you to do here is I want you to take that second walk and see if you can correct your walk. It may feel a little bit funny, but you can do it. It's proof that, 1, you can tap into the pictures that the subconscious uses for movement, and 2, you can correct them and correct your movement. Now, we're not using the conscious mind to do that other than to give instruction to the subconscious. We're working directly through the subconscious mind to correct movement. Have I worked on your technique yet? Yes and no. I've done it through your mind. I'm working on your mind. Now, before I said that the subject of balance has been skimmed over for centuries. Think about what was mentioned about balance in a lesson you may have taken in the past. The golf instructor says, get in balance. That's about how far it goes, doesn't it? And you might say, well, how do I know if I'm in balance? Oh, you'll feel comfortable. But is that it? You see, balance can be your worst enemy, or it can be your very best friend. If you don't understand it, it will be your worst enemy because it works whether you like it or not. But if you understand it, it's your best friend, and it's your advantage on the golf course. So why is balance so misunderstood? There are a number of elements to balance. Instead of just teetering over one point, you have to balance different motions in the body while they're happening. Notice when I put one arm out, the other one wants to move. It's a counterbalance system that happens automatically in the brain, again, whether you like it or not.